Tim Fox and I teach art and design and photography at Esher College, sixth form college, just down the road from Hampton Court. It just seemed a great opportunity, and I'm always keen to find new channels for my students to actually develop their work. So we promoted it across the college, and we've got a cross-section here of people doing photography but media and film studies and involved in the college magazine. So it seems to have stimulated some interest across the board, really. Well, I think when you're young you are forming an identity, and I certainly see it in my work with this age group. It's an interesting intermediary between you and somebody else. It's a way of adopting a slightly different identity, maybe, and makes you a bit braver sometimes. It also helps you to actually look at what's around you, and just looking through the viewfinder, you actually start to think visually, which from my point of view is invaluable, and to analyse what's in front of you and what's happening in front of you, and maybe reflect a bit more. So I think there are lots of potential uses for photography, socially, but obviously creatively, and just as a way of helping people communicate with each other, really.
How impressed have you been with the standard of photography?
I'm very impressed. It's interesting because we're obviously dealing with another place as well. So you've got the sense of, first of all, a slightly unusual, maybe a bit exotic location, but actually looking through that, even the sense of composition, some of the bravery, I think, behind some of the photographs is impressive. They've obviously taken a lot of photographs for this selection to be made, and it's good for my students to see young people of their age making really good visual decisions, finding the right shot, getting into places, getting into interactions with other people. So I think it does reach across from Soweto, and just on a universal level, really, that a good photograph is a good photograph wherever you are, really, and whatever the subject. Well, I think it's that combination, really. There should be some kind of tension between, if you like, the formal aspects, the patches of light and dark, the arrangement of the image, and the content. There's some, maybe there's a direct meaning, maybe there's a narrative. In this case, often there's a human story there. There's more than one definition, I think, but I think that balance of the purely visual and the meaning behind it makes for a good photograph. It needs technically to be okay, to be in focus, or for the colour to be balanced, or for it to be well printed. But once you get beyond that, it's very much to do with that creation of visual meaning. So it's there somewhere, I think. Yeah. I'm excited as a teacher. I think, talking to David, there's an awful lot of potential for us to maybe build on this, and I think just the raising of awareness, really, of a completely different reality and a different mode of life in another part of the world is invaluable. So it does seem to cut through a lot of layers, really. Obviously it's about photography, but it's a social dimension, it's political, maybe it's to do with ethics, it's to do with sport in some cases. I think there's a huge potential for this project to kind of engage young people here, really, and I've just been having ideas for ways that we could perhaps do some kind of mirror project going back the other way, a kind of message to these guys who've taken these photographs from my pupils. So hopefully we'll do something. Well, I'm pleased, actually. I mean, we lured them out after college on a cold, dark night to a local church. It's not an easy sell, but once they were here, it seemed the pictures had their effect. David's wonderful, he's a really good communicator anyway, and the stories really drew them in, I think. And they've stayed late. They've been talking away to people. So I think we've got something there. It's great to just give them the opportunity, really, and get them in the right place at the right time to learn and maybe find an opportunity for the future. Well, I think as a kind of cultural exchange, if you like, there's great value in it, and certainly we need to keep learning about other parts of the world and maybe contrasting parts of the world. But I think there's that kind of just basic universal humanity that they are young people with cameras in the same way that our guys are, and in the spirit of a kind of global world. It's just part of that. Young people are very used to communicating visually through networks, and I think it fits very well with the kind of zeitgeist actually for young people. So I think a bit of funding, not a lot, I think, would go a long way to encourage that. Even if it's just about promotion, I think a lot of it could be free. It could just be open access type rolling projects. But yes, I think it's important with a social dimension, really.